If you're anything like me, I'm sure that your favorite part of the new year is the preparation that comes beforehand. I like it even more than Christmas. I wouldn't say I'm a Grinch, but I feel like I'm waiting to start my new Christmas traditions when I have my own family. But for right now, I love the new year. If you're like a visionary, planning, organization, self-improvement type girly like me, then we're here, we see each other. So in today's video, we are going to be discussing ways that you can make yourself look more put together most of the time, and you can feel better about your presentation and your clothes in 2025, because it's very important the way we appear. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I'm also going to be sharing new habits in terms of your mindset and practical organization. We're also going to be discussing health and fitness goals that are realistic and sustainable, something you can actually maintain throughout the year. We are going to be discussing ways that you can approach all the people in your life so you can feel more fulfilled in your relationship. So let's get started. Pushing on my buttons with no hesitation, gets me up, give me motivation. No, I say for it. Now for 2025, I'm gonna be having something called outfit rules. Just some couple of things I want to live by. Number one is outfit repeating / uniform. I just want to have like an outfit for each scenario, just to stop me with having this decision fatigue, and also just having a go-to in my head that I can sometimes variate. For example, when I go on dates, I want to have a first date outfit, I want to have a second date outfit, and a third date outfit, all portraying different things. On the first date, you don't want to be having it all hang out. You want to show a little bit of like sex appeal, but not too much. So for example, for a first date, I could wear this top, this skirt, and some red boots. I have to add color. Anyway, let's try it on, because maybe I think it's a bit more first date. Maybe this is more second date. This is a date outfit though. I'm gonna try it on for you guys. So this is what the outfit looks like without the shoes. Now, even putting this on, not that I feel uncomfortable, but it's definitely different for me, because I don't really wear short skirts. I'm very well versed in wearing like long, mature, kind of grown-up skirts. But when it comes to these like flirty play skirts, I always feel a bit out of place. So I'm doing my best to incorporate into my wardrobe. And now let's choose between these two boots. Shall we put one of each to see which looks better? I think I already like these boots more. They just seem more versatile. Ugh. This one is more comfortable. Oh, but I like both of these. This is how you end up with a closet full of everything, because I will justify keeping both. Now these red ones are definitely more risque. Okay, with this particular outfit, I do think the red one works. So let me put on both of those boots. Oh, this is such a cute outfit. I feel like it strikes the balance of like girlish flirtiness, grown adult, young, sexy, look what you could have access to if you choose to put a ring on my finger type energy for a date, you know? Well, these are great, and they're actually quite comfortable, which I'm surprised about. The only thing I would do if I really want to be more conservative is to have longer sleeves. And I did have another outfit I want to show you guys, but it hasn't arrived. It's coming up to Christmas time, so you know all the orders taking thousands of years. But aside from this, I'm happy with that. I'd have to put shorts on, because if I bend over, it's all over. And then I add on like my necklaces, some jewelry, I got a bit of rings. I'm gonna show you guys an outfit that I'm gonna wear to an event that I'm going to in a couple of days that also sticks to my 2025 goals of wearing green and red. I don't really know where this came from, but I just kind of look back in past years, and I always look best when I was wearing like nice rich colors like red and green, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. So I'm gonna show you guys the outfit that I plan to wear to that event. This is the outfit. The reason why I wore shorts instead of a skirt is because I do expect to dance a little bit at this event. But guys, I won't lie, I'm a little bit nervous, because I used to go out a lot in my early 20s and when I was a teenager. Over the last 2 years, I stopped going out as much. And I guess when you're not in practice of doing something, you start to feel less self-assured. Like, how am I gonna act? How's it gonna be? One thing about me, oh, almost forgot the jacket. One thing about me is like when I go out and when I go out with my sisters, we do attract a lot of attention. I like to put effort into my outfits, but it doesn't mean inside I'm not just like, you know, a little bit nervous inside. And I will commit to wearing the outfit. It's either I look good or I don't go. The shorts were so that I had some range of movement in the club, you know. I find a skirt will just ride up too much. The next thing we're going to be looking at is the practical organizational habits for 2025. So Next thing is the practical organizational habits. Now, I was gonna say contrary to popular belief, but I don't know what you guys think about me, to be quite honest, but you may not know this, but my brain works in systems and calendars and dates and times, and this is why I have my weekly calendar, my monthly calendar. Now I'm gonna have a yearly goal calendar. However, I saw this really cool thing on TikTok where the girl makes her year goals in like a bingo card fashion. Should I share my goal? Do you know what? I'm gonna share a couple of my goals with you, but there's not many things closer to my heart than my goals. So I don't actually share them with many people. I really don't. Or if I do share my goals, it's particular ones. There's just some that I just keep to myself. I'd rather tell you about an intimate or romantic encounter than my goals for my life and the vision for my life. But today I will show you the bingo card I saw some girl have on TikTok. And then we're gonna create it together, and I'm gonna show you how you guys can create it. So what you do, you essentially choose how many columns you want depending on how many goals you have. Okay, so I could actually write down 15 goals, and then the square in the middle will be blank. And you just kind of tamper with it for a little bit until you make it into the way that you want it to be. So that's what we're gonna do. Right, let me read out some ones. Okay. Usually when I'm doing these things, it does take me a bit more time to really sit down and think about what I want. I have quite a few goals, but just to refine them, I need more time. So that is just an example of what we do for organization. Now I will show you guys my monthly calendar, which I'm happy to share, and my weekly calendar, which I'll also be happy to share. So let's do that. And I'm gonna come back to this later, but you guys get the gist, okay? You make the colorful bingo board, you send it off to print if you want to. You can print it A4, I want mine. I don't even know what size I want mine yet, but you can send it off to print. And essentially at the end of the year, you will cross which ones you've done on the bingo cards. I think it's a lot funner than the traditional writing it out, because sometimes it can feel so heavy. But I think this makes goal setting very like light-hearted, almost like a game, because life is a game. But my goals are not a game, and that's why I'm only sharing some. I'm gonna read to you guys the goals that I am willing to share. We're supposed to be friends, aren't we? You know, I love you guys, so let me share something. So one of my goals is to regulate my periods. I feel like I've had this goal for the last couple of years, but it's to really regulate my periods. And I recognize there's so many different things I didn't know before, like my stress levels and eating. Now I know I'm gonna put it all together and have just a monthly period. Imagine that being my goal, to have something that other people have so easy. But you know, everybody gets their different cards in life. Mine is not having regular periods, but we're gonna change that. Another one, do I wanna say that one? Nope. I could say this one. I do wanna make some new friends. I don't think I was open to friendship last year, so I do want to make some friends. Another one is to go on some dates. I was not open to dating last year at all. All I cared about was work. Now I want to go on dates. I want to be debt free, which is why I said I need to stop being a consumer. I want to hold a handstand for a minute. Okay, 30 seconds. I want to be able to hold a handstand. I want to take a full body photo every single day, so I just remember what I look like. Nope, not gonna say that. Not gonna say that. And the last one that I will say is I want to start writing stories again. I am a natural born storyteller. I used to write stories as a child and I completely lost touch with it. And after some recent events, I realized that that's my next step. So those are the goals that I am willing to share, and I'm gonna put them on my bingo card. And I'll show you how the bingo card looks when I eventually print it out. But yes, the next thing we're gonna do is the monthly and weekly planner. Monthly calendars is something that I already did in 2025. You probably noticed them in the back of my YouTube videos. But like, there's something about writing out your schedule by hand that is very therapeutic. I like to put the signs that is during the month. So, sorry, the first 2 weeks are Sagittarius season and the last 2 weeks are Capricorn season. So each calendar I have, it will have the seasons, like the glyphs astrologically, the date, I put my work schedule, and then I put down anything else I'm doing during the year. As you can see, every pink thing I've underlined is just work. And so what I want my calendar to look like is more of these. These kind of bubbles is when I'm doing something fun. And I want to see more of those colors for next year. The other thing I do is my weekly calendar. I can't even, I don't even want to show it. Let me show a blank one, because for the sake of you guys, this is what a blank weekly template looks like. I just print this offline off of this, I used to have this planner book. It's called a passion planner where you can plan out your weeks, and I don't know, I've been doing it for ages and I just love it. You just write the dates and you write your goals, things that you want to, that you have to do for the week, and you block out the timestamp, and then I stick it on my wall so I have a visual representation of what I'm doing that week, and it really keeps me on track. That's just how my brain works. Like all this colouring and these boxes and timestamps, it keeps me so organised and it just makes me feel good. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you guys is like the mindset and organisational habits that I'm going to bring into 2025. Oh my god guys, I've bought something new. Who's surprised? So I bought an alarm clock. I haven't even used it yet. I used to have a really good habit of not touching my phone until 10 a.m. And then I just started to allow work to take hold. And when you have to get up for your alarm clock, then you go on your phone and you're scrolling. And I was like, do you know what? I actually don't want my phone in my room at nighttime. I'm very good at turning my phone off at night. Like my phone is on airplane mode every single night. So if you're in an emergency, you need to talk to somebody else because you can't get through to me. There's been so many times where like my colleagues will try and call me in the morning to see if I can cover a shift, and I'm simply just sleeping. And I don't receive the call, and that's one good thing I've done. Now I actually want to use this alarm clock so I can actually have that time to myself. Having that buffer zone before you interact with the world is literally crucial for your mental health, and I've definitely seen the downfall of not doing that, so I'm taking it seriously. For the whole of this year, I definitely lacked a lot of ease. It was get up, run, like between shifts, it's like I go from this leisure centre to that leisure centre, I go pull this, I hate it. I'm not a man. That is some like masculine shit and I don't want to do it anymore. So another thing I want to do is bring back journaling. These are all the journals that I had in 2024. And to some people that's like, oh, what's wrong with that? The old me would literally go through a journal a month, and I only have 3. And this orange one is barely even full. It's a physical manifestation of me neglecting the things that, in my spiritual practice, I've been neglecting my writing and my thoughts and my imagination, and I feel like I've been so in the physical world, like working and dealing with queries and drama and this and that at work, that I forgot to, get back to what I love, which is writing. I'm a writer, I'm a storyteller. I don't even get to do that in my journal anymore. I also was considering making it a bit more, my journal's more fun. I saw something on TikTok where people were like sticking photos in their journal, and I was like, well, I could definitely do that. I have a couple of Polaroids. Should I show you? This is me and my twin at Carnival. She gave me this Polaroid. I'm actually, to be honest, my little sister bought me a Polaroid camera and I never use it, but I think I'm actually going to put it to use so I can at least put these in my journal. This one is me at Carnival as well. And this one was more recent. This was just near my birthday when we all went out for dinner. Such a cute photo. I say this all to say it's a way for me to connect with myself. In terms of my nighttime routine, I want to be off all electronics 30 minutes before bed. In 2025, I'm addressing my relationship to self-restraint and discipline. I definitely lean towards the gluttonous side and rarely face the repercussions of my greedy antics, or so it seems. I mean, there's a price to pay for everything, so although my physique remains unaffected as I indulge in sweets and treats, my internal functions are suffering, and I continue to struggle with absent periods for the last couple of months of 2024 as my commitment to intermittent fasting and ketobiotic foods wavered. My eating suffered as my work-life balance became unbalanced, but I'm ready to commit to prioritizing rest and ease once again to get my body back into equilibrium. So what does that look like? In order to make this change in my health, I had to ask myself where I derive pleasure from, because I was able to identify a pattern of where there's pleasure or fulfillment lacking from other areas of my life. I just turn to food. Like if I had a hard day at work and I'm not going to meet up with friends, or I'm not going on a date, or I don't have a fun activity to do, the only alternative that my brain looks for is food. There was a period earlier this year where I was obsessed with Ben and Jerry's. I like a lot of sweet treats, but of course, like I said, there's always a side effect. I had literally no period since August. It's December, I still haven't had a period, so clearly it's not working. So I had to ask myself where I'm actually deriving my pleasure from, and before I get in a stress cycle, preventing it by having weekly things that I can derive pleasure from, which is exercise. But I'm someone, I don't necessarily derive pleasure from the gym or just working out to get fit, but I like stretching, I like yoga, I like calisthenics, I like gymnastics, I like activities. It's my job to put activities in place every single week so I don't have to always resort to scoffing Nando's or scoffing something sweet. Keeping on the theme of food, I actually Because I know I like food, I've noticed I was getting bored with the foods that I was making. I've literally been making the same meals for the whole entire year. So I'm gonna start changing them once a quarter so I can actually have some variation in what I eat. Having a new bowl, that's another thing. I should buy some new bowls like every quarter or so. Or if I'm just out and about picking up new bowls and crockery, like that gets me going. It's those small things that are gonna keep me in an equilibrium. So that's what I will be implementing. The last thing we're going to be talking about is how I'm going to be approaching the people who are in my life and how I can do it in a way that gives me fulfilling relationships. I learned a word that described what I'd been feeling in relationships for the last couple of years, and it's the ambivalence. I watched this interview on Diary of a CEO and she talks about those relationships where you should meet up and maybe we should, but like, oh, I don't really know if I want to text them. It's just you don't know where you are with that person, and I think I've done a good job of eradicating ambivalence, but I would really encourage you to do it too. There's some people, when you think of them, you're like, oh, I'd love to hang out with them. But there's others, you're kind of iffy. She suggested some questions you can ask to see whether you're on the same page. You ask them about their goals, you know, like what goals have you got right now? If they brush you off, or if you don't like their answer, it may not be the person you want to keep in your close circle. And you can also ask them, what are you working on right now? And if you don't like their answer, you might not want to keep them in your close circle, but it kind of destroys that ambivalence. She said it comes from you not feeling supported by that person, and I resonated with that so deeply because I don't think people do it intentionally, but I'm very, very sensitive, and there's little things that I pick up in people's actions and their words and how they present themselves online or whatever that makes me feel unsupported, especially as someone who's quite solution-based. I'm not like passive. I will hit things head on. Like if I have a problem with my friend, I just think to myself, we're friends, I want us to continue being friends, so I'd rather speak about this. But even in that confrontation, if I don't receive feedback that I think, yeah, this person is taking this in, they're actually trying to work on it, it continues the ambivalence and I'm not having it. So I wouldn't say I have any ambivalent relationships in my life right now, but it's definitely something I used to have a lot. I know anyone around me, I fully trust them and I want to tell them things about myself. Guys, that is all I have for you. Toodles!